Mike Davis is going to still give you more than 10 fantasy points because the Chicago hasn't been that great against the run. They have looked better against the pass. So I think like DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, a little regression this week. I think Bridgewater, you'll have a little bit of regression. I think Mike Davis stays on par, maybe a little less fantasy production because he's been good for like 18, 20 points a week, which is pretty impressive. But yeah, I think Chicago wins this game. I think the ball is going to go to Allen Robinson's hands a lot. He leads the league in targets. No surprise. He was actually on pace for like 200 targets last year after the injury to, it was either Anthony Miller or forget who their second guy was last year. But yeah, I'm going Chicago in this game. I think they can win this one. Big Dick Nick, he's going to pull it
Yeah,
off.
I do too. Yeah, I don't. Carolina's not a. I think this could be a actual game for Nick Foles to kind of get in rhythm with some of his offensive weapons, and this could be one of those, just one of those easy games for the Bears to just find their identity, or at least part of their identity moving forward, because they still have a shot. So they need to figure something out. Another game that's really interesting to me because I think both these teams are obviously, well, one of them, I don't know, you could question, but one of them is definitely better than the record, and that's Atlanta versus Minnesota. Obviously, Minnesota, they have their struggles. Cousins, you could argue, well, maybe he's not as clutch anymore. I don't know, but I think Cousins is still great. But Atlanta, this could be a game where they're like, we need to get a win. Obviously, they have no chance in the postseason or anything like that, but Matt Ryan still wants to prove that he's good because this could be a year. This could be a year for him to start having other teams look at him, and maybe he doesn't want to be in Atlanta anymore. So I obviously the Vikings are favored in this one. Is this one that you're maybe leaning towards the Falcons, or maybe you're like, no way, Minnesota's going to win this game?
I'm pretty confident in Minnesota, even though the line has moved a little bit in favor of Atlanta. I don't think they're going to miss a beat. Like putting in Madison every time Cook goes down, it seems like Madison puts up the same fantasy numbers, which I don't understand. Like it's not like the Vikings have the best O line. Maybe Madison's just that good,
Mm-hmm.
but just because they don't have Cook, I'm not that scared. It's a really porous pass defense, so I expect you know Thielen, Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins. My sleeper's Irv Smith, tight end. They're finally finding out, hey, this guy's pretty good. Maybe we should use him. He's a hell of an
Right.
athlete. He's tight end on FanDuel. I think he's under 5,000, so that's a sleeper play at tight end. But yeah, I mean, right now Atlanta's hungry for a win. I can see him coming out being really competitive, but I'm leaning Minnesota in this game. I think
Right.
Madison has a big game. I think Thielen has a big game. Kirk Cousins, he's probably my favorite quarterback on this slate, other than Matt Stafford.
Okay. I'm just out of curiosity. I just want to look at some of the player props for this game because I do kind of think it's interesting because obviously Gurley's been fairly impressive, at least fantasy wise, for what you would be expecting. So let's look at him, and I'm kind of curious about people like Calvin Ridley, see him, and maybe even Matty Ice. Let's see passing touchdowns. So over or under 1.5 passing touchdowns for Matty Ice today.
I would go over.
Okay, that's minus 196. So under plus 152. Yeah, and I agree. I could see at least a minimum of 2 touchdowns by Matt Ryan. I could see that maybe a touchdown or two by Gurley. That's kind of why I was thinking, I think they could maybe keep up, but it's whether or not they can win it in the fourth quarter. I mean, that's that's a real question. I don't. It's not even a meme anymore. It's not a joke. It's a serious question. Oh, wow. Hey, there's Ryan. And this, so bear with us. Our whole visuals are going to be screwed up for a minute. Um, but it's okay. We'll figure it out, folks.
Is there
Full.
anybody watching?
Yeah, there's 3 people still. Um, so I was going to answer this Mike Davis revenge game. What do you think about that, Gigs? You think this is going to be a Mike Davis revenge game? While I figure this out. Giggsy
I think
boy.
Mike Davis is just going to have a good game, period.
Ryan is connecting with audio. Yeah. I mean, definitely. So the one, Calvin Ridley, Tyler. I guess that's actually not even worth asking at this point because those are terrible odds. Ooh, this one's actually kind of interesting.
What?
Okay, Russell Gage, under or over 40.5 receiving yards.
I'll take the under.
I think that's a good one too. There really isn't high odds on that. I was just reading one and I just had to throw one out there because I was reading all of them and they sucked. So that one is not very good. Ooh, okay, all right, all right. This one's actually, I think this one's probably the most interesting one. Justin Jefferson, total receptions under or over 4.5. That's actually a pretty good one. Plus 100 for over 4.5. You like
Yeah,
that?
that's not mean. That's not bad.
I do like that one a lot. That one's
Regression to the
actually
mean. What do you mean, Pitsy? You mean that they're going to win? I do think that. Honestly, this is what I think is going to happen in the Atlanta game. Everybody's playing Alexander Madison, right? This is what I anticipate. I anticipate with Julio Jones being back, Atlanta getting out to a big lead in the beginning, so Minnesota's not able to just run the ball, and Alexander Madison's going to be a bad play today, especially in DFS. And I think Julio Jones is going to have a really big game. That's my take. That's what I think is going to happen.
I love Madison today.
We'll see. I think GameScript's going to be a big is going to affect things today.
there. He is. All right. Oh no, maybe it's okay. Very nice. It didn't mess anything up. That's awesome. Well, hey, Rye guy.
Hey.
All right, so I'm just posting all this shit on Twitter. So you got to keep watching the Facebook
Facebook
chat,
what? Facebook.
the chat.
YouTube
Or not
chat?
Facebook,
Okay.
yeah. Did you post it anywhere? I'll post it on
No.
Facebook.
Yeah, any other questions? We got a couple more viewers in here. Ask away, please. Anything you got, we just want to answer your questions. We want to help you out. We want you to win in fantasy today. And anything you can steer Ryan in a different direction of starting different people so I can win today, that'd be very helpful too. All right.
Any last minute questions?
I guess in the meantime, let's look at maybe some of the player props for the Cowboys Arizona
Player
game.
pops.
Player
What kind of
pops.
pop?
I like a soda pop.
Player plops. Player plops.
Player plops.
All right, here's my favorite one of the whole day. Philip Lindsay. I don't know what the last I saw was 48.5. I like him to go over. 40.5 rushing yards. I like the over for that one.
That's cute. That's really cute.
He's going to have the backfield basically to himself. Yes, Royce Freeman will probably be a little bit involved, but 48.5, he did it 12 times last year. He went over that number 12 times. Now he has it basically to himself. Yes, I like the over. And really, New England hasn't been that great against the run, so I like the over on that.
It's at 53.5 now at FanDuel Sportsbook.
Oh, so I got a good price. What are the odds for it? Or what is the juice?
Juice, like
I think it's minus 110.
That's what it was for 48.5 too. It was minus 110. All right,
so I think I hope nobody comes in and asks about Le'Veon, or else they're gonna be banned. So no talking about Le'Veon in here, all right? No, I'm just kidding. Cake Pops, yes. So I think I'd start Cake Pops this weekend. I do think that that's a good start. You really can't go wrong with Cake Pops.
Where are you talking about from Starbucks? Those cake pops?
No, definitely homemade ones, or else you're gonna get
Starbucks isn't too
vanilla.
bad. Starbucks isn't too bad. Their cake pops are pretty good.
I like the thinking, Tyler, but I don't think Madison get phased out. would still get catches. Very good English. Watson or Newton this weekend?
Watson and me personally,
And
yeah, it's got to be Cam, but Watson's right there. I think right now Tennessee is. I did this in my video. Right now Tennessee is I think they're the worst in terms of pressure rate, and they have 5 sacks in the year, which is also last in the
Oof.
NFL.
That's
So
terrible.
I imagine that Deshaun Watson's actually going to have time,
They
which
have
he should have last week, but still threw a couple picks. But I believe that time needed to get adjusted for no Hopkins. He needed to fill out the receivers, and I feel like it's only going to get better. And they had a really tough not week last week, but first 4 games of the season. So I like Watson.
Plus, you never know what to expect with new coaching.
True.
You never
I think
know.
I think especially when there's new coach, like a new coach comes in and they fire Bill O'Brien and it's all this. I feel like it kind of changes the culture and it gives players like a
A new
not
wave
sense
of
of yeah.
motivation.
It's like yeah, exactly. So with a new coach, it's a new feeling. When things are new, you're excited. So I think that definitely helps.
Agreed.
But Cam is good this week. What do you think, Ryan?
What's up, dude? You want a player prop?
Sold out.
Yeah, what's your favorite one of the week?
Well, unless something's changed, the Eagles still can't cover a tight end, and they're playing against Mark Andrews, who's one of the best tight ends in the league, and his over-under at 53.5 right now. So I'm guessing he'll probably go over on 53.5 receiving.
no, Ty, what do you think of that?
Suck him off already.
What do you think of that, Ty? Wait, who are you asking me?
No, that was Giggs.
Yeah, is he asking? Are you asking
That's
me?
me asking you.
Well, who's the other Tyler?
I mean, I like it. Here's the thing. Okay, when I talk about DFS, see, I play GPP. I don't put a ton of money in FanDuel as is, especially like DFS. I do prop bets. I put a decent amount of money in that, but in FanDuel, like I like to just play GPPs. So for me, I mean, I feel like it's going to be chalk, so I stay away from chalk. So I'm going to go down. I like my favorite tight end is Cameron Brate, 4,800. He's my favorite one of the week.
That's pretty cute.
Yeah, if we're talking about tight ends, Irv Smith, Trey Burton are my sleepers. If you're
Smith's a
looking
good
for
one.
GPP, sleeper tight end, those are your guys.
And if
Maybe
we're
some
talking about
Ebron.
yeah, Ebron too. Yeah, I think he's like 5,200 on FanDuel. And if we're talking about tight ends, let's talk about Kyle's tight end. Now that is one tight end. Yeah.
Oh God! Don't even
What's
get me
Pitsy
started.
saying? Trade Alvin Kamara for Le'Veon Bell? No, that is a solid trade.
That is
like,
a good
honestly.
trade. That's a really good trade.
I might do it, but I might give it 1 week because the price is probably going to get lower in Kamara. So really, you could probably get Kamara and somebody else for Le'Veon.
I tried to trade Hunter Henry and AJ Green for Alvin Kamara and
No,
Jerick
don't do that.
McKinnon. He declined it.
Like what?
Ryan's face is frozen. That's so creepy. That is the creepiest. It was so creepy. What the fuck? I tried to trade him. I have AJ Green and Hunter Henry. I try to trade him for Jerick McKinnon and Alvin Kamara. See if he'd maybe get the bait for AJ Green. Maybe he's like, damn, AJ Green? He's good.
This is a solid trade.
He declined it.
Gigs, what about you? Unless you already talked about it, because I wasn't here earlier. Your favorite bet so far?
I like Adam Thielen over 5.5 receptions.
Is that that's what it's at?
Yes.
What's the juice? Isn't it high though? It's like 150 or something.
Why do you always have to bring Jews into this?
Oh shit, it's 180. Minus 180. So.
But I mean,
I
that's
still
a good.
love it. I think it's a lot.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna do, especially like a parlay, you have a couple of player props that you like. I mean, that's a good one. I like Allen Robinson right now, 6.5 catches. I believe the juice, the last I saw was like 128 plus 128. And I mean, 6.5, he's gone over that the past 3 weeks with Foles under center, so I like that. I'll take that.
I like that.
I like that.
You like that?
I just saw your Hardman comment. Thanks, Tyler, says Michael Tarantino.
Wait, is he the director?
Yeah, no, that's Quentin. Yeah, this is Quentin's son.
Oh, this is his brother. Okay.
No, this is his son.
Oh, hey, Michael. How's it going, buddy?
Hey,
You
another
guys like
prop parlay.
Zach Moss's chance to become a viable in coming weeks? I do personally, but it just depends on when Singletary's breakout game is. If Singletary has one of those breakout games where like, all right, this guy is the guy moving forward, I don't like Moss moving forward, but until then, I do think Moss is pretty good.
I'm gonna go ahead and disagree because last week they were starting to work Yeldon in,
Yeah, I know.
which I think is concerning. I think it's about to be like a 3 running back committee.
But I do think Singletary is still the best of the three. That's all I'm saying.
I think so too. I
I
like.
would agree.
I don't know why they drafted Zach Moss personally.
There ways
Guys,
to
how about Marvin Jones over 3.5 receptions?
I'm
plus
not betting on
126?
him.
Yeah,
I've gotten burned twice by that dude. I'm not getting burned again. It's one of those where
No, you do.
I should tweet at him and tell him like, send me my money back.
No,
Yeah,
as a-
ideal matchup.
To revolt against him being a cocksucker and losing you money, you should bet the under because the unders are no fun, and then that's
True.
getting.
But then
back
he
in.
goes over, and then he goes over it, and then I'm going to be even more pissed. But I do think that's a good bet because, like, the first thing is that Jacksonville's allowed a 300-yard passer in every single game this season, except Ryan Fitzpatrick on Thursday night, where Ryan Fitzpatrick, I believe, had like 2 incompletions and completely destroyed them. The game was over at halftime, so he probably could have went over that number. So if you have Stafford throwing for 300 yards, I mean, obviously it's going to go to Kenny Golladay, but who else? Marvin Jones had the ideal matchup against the Saints with no cornerbacks and had 1 catch for 9 yards, I believe, in that game. So, I mean, I definitely think it's possible, but my gosh, come on. He's got to get him involved. You gotta catch the balls.
Guys, I got a question from a fan. He needs to drop someone so he can take Cam off IR. And the people he can drop are Brandon Cooks, T.Y. Hilton, or Deebo Samuel. Who would you drop?
DY. 100%. For me, at least.
Who are they again? Read them again.
T.Y. Hilton, Brandon Cooks, or Deebo Samuel?
Definitely, yeah, I agree with Ty. Brandon Cooks is starting to actually turn out to maybe be the number one in Houston. So,
Well, I'll say this about Brandon Cooks real quick, is that all season long he's played the most wide receiver snaps, according to Pro Football Focus. So he's played the most wide receiver snaps. He had a breakout game last week. He's had good years before in Los Angeles and in New Orleans, so he's not a nobody. And I mean, are we going to just say that Fuller's the wide receiver 1? He had Hopkins, so maybe he needs a wide receiver 1 to be that number 2, which isn't a bad thing. So I'd like Cooks as well.
but we have this conversation, I feel like, with a lot of teams, and I do think for a lot of positions it's starting to get to this point, and I think especially wide receiver, you may just not even see, oh, this guy's the one anymore on a lot of teams because there's just so many guys who are so good. But,
especially in the slot too, like
yeah.
they're like emphasizing the slot a lot more.
Because even big guys can play the slot. Yeah, big guys can play the slot so well. So one of the questions Michael just asked, he said, what do you guys think of Slayton? I assume he's talking about Darius Slayton. Frustrating team and season for him. And then he also agreed with T.Y. Hilton.
I mean, I'll go real quick and then I'll let them go. Me personally, I mean, I like Slayton, but the Giants have the worst offensive line in the league. They're allowing the highest pressure rate for Daniel Jones, so it's really unfortunate because Slayton's like a big play guy where they like to push the ball down the field, but if you don't have time, you can't do that. So it's disappointing, and really Washington's a really good team, especially pass rush wise. So I don't think it's going to be a good game from Slayton, even though like they're playing Washington and people are just going to say, oh, it's Washington. They're terrible. When really their defense isn't that bad. Their offense is just terrible and turns the ball over. So I like Slayton's talent, but just the situation, the offensive line is just so bad. I feel bad for that offense.
Right. I agree. I think if healthy, Slayton's obviously a great week-to-week pick because Daniel Jones just feeds him the ball, but I do feel bad for that team. It's been really rough. But Ryan, you got any opinions on that? The Giants are
You
your
think the
favorite
Eagles are the
team?
best?
Yeah, the Eagles will probably win the Super Bowl.
Might win the division.
They're gonna trade for Nick Foles.
No, like to go along with what Ty said, their offensive line is just destroying everything, any sort of confidence that Daniel Jones had. And Slayton's obviously a good player, and if he breaks that, if Jones has a game where he can gain some confidence back, well, then Slayton's going to end up being like pretty solid, like you've seen in the games where he gets involved a lot. But until that point, it's like you can't trust. I feel like you can't really trust anyone on that team because you just don't know what that offense is going to do week to week, even against Washington.
Right, and it's like if you remember a few years ago, like it was I don't know, it was just a couple years ago with Aaron Rodgers, like he wasn't playing that well. And if you watch the games, like he just didn't trust his offensive line, and he was always like getting the ball out quick. He was never comfortable in the pocket, and that's probably what's going to happen with Daniel Jones because you just can't trust your offense line. When you're getting hit, 20 times a game, there's no trust. So yeah, 100%. It's just a shitty situation. They need to address it, and they tried to, but it hasn't worked out. So
Are we
hopefully
talking
it
Yeah, they
about
tried to.
Cincinnati
A
or New
dude,
York?
a dude dropped because COVID too. He backed out.
Hey.
Oh, one of their linemen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darius Slayton, I hold on to him. I would never drop him because he's
Mhm.
Daniel Jones' favorite. That's his guy. You never forget your first, guys, and that's Danny Dimes' first.
That's
That
true.
is
That's
really
true.
cute of you to say. I'm not gonna lie. You are,
All right,
according to the Korean bot accounts, Gigs, you are the favorite of this show. If you look at the comments,
Fuck yeah.
They are
Jeez.
always commenting on the.
they always put a timestamp and it's always your voice, and they say my favorite. Shit.
They always
Interesting
I
one.
love all my fans.
Is that why you have an OnlyFans account?
I have OnlyFans. If you're into feet stuff,
All right, so let's talk
you
about.
got some Hunter Biden P stuff.
Oh, yes, meth pipes galore. All right, so here's what I'm thinking. We talk about probably the game of the day, according to Ryan. Let's talk about
Jets?
the Baltimore Philly game.
It's gonna be ugly.
So Lamar Jackson under or over 15 touchdowns.
No, here's what I'll say about that game. I don't think the Eagles will win, but there's something to be said about teams having their home fans in the stadium for the first time. You saw it last week with Pittsburgh when they got them in for the first time. I'm sure it played a role because all those people, Steelers obviously have a good fan base, as do the Eagles, as far as like loud, just crazy people. So I think they do play a role, and I think 10 is a lot of points in that game to be given the Eagles. And that's what it's currently at, is 10.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So what you're taking?
I'll
You're
take
gonna
Eagles.
take the Eagles at plus 10.
Yeah.
I mean that's not bad. I agree.
I'll be right back. I don't know if somebody's knocking. I mean, actually, never mind. Actually, no, somebody might be knocking. Hold up. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'll ask some questions here while I get up from the chair here and shut the door. So, well, I mean, since we're going on the Eagles, one of my favorite bets is going to be Miles Sanders. I don't know what I got to pull up the lines because they're probably always changing. When I got it, it was at 61.5. I like the under for rushing. Yeah. Just because right now, it's not that I don't believe in him, but you have, first of all, Lane Johnson out. Pro Football Focus says they have a 24% disadvantage in the run game this week. Baltimore's given up the 7th least rushing yards on the year and a 3.7 yards per carry. So for me, yes, he had 80 yards last week. 72 yards of those 80 came off of one play. So yeah, I like the under. And the past 2 weeks, he's only had 24 carries. Like, what the hell's up with that, Doug Peterson? Give him the ball, man. So me personally, I like the under for that. That's one of my favorite bets for that game. What about you guys? Have you guys looked at any lines for that one?
Yeah, I was just looking at it. I put one together. Like I said, I like Mark Andrews as far as just he'll probably score a touchdown. I put together a same game parlay with Andrews to score and like sprinkling in, like I think Fulgham has another good game because he's got to be featured again because those two wide receivers like Jackson and Jeffrey who were questionable coming into this week, they're not playing again. So I expect another at least decent game from him. Obviously, not you can't expect a game like last week, but I think the over/under was set at like maybe 54.5 receiving yards for Fulgham. Or I could be mixing that up with Andrews. Let me check real quick.
Hold on, bro. While you're looking at that, Giggs, did we already do this one? Tyler Boyd, DJ Chark, or Justin Jefferson? Who would you go?
Jefferson.
I'm going to be different. I'm going to say Tyler Boyd. I put a lot of research into this week. Tyler Boyd actually has a really good advantage in the slot this week. That's one place where Colts, Kenny Moore, right now he's 5'8", 180. Tyler Boyd's 6'2", 200. Kenny Moore's actually hasn't been very good, at least by Pro Football Focus. And looking at the stats, he's given up quite a bit of catches on the year. Tyler Boyd's one of the best slot receivers, so for me, I would go Boyd, but Justin Jefferson also has a really good matchup this week. Atlanta's worst against the pass this year, giving up the most passing yards, so yes, I think that's a good play as well.
You don't like Chark against Detroit?
No, and I'll tell you why. This is why I don't like Chark. He didn't practice all week. He was a game-time decision. He's going to play. Last week, he got knocked out of the game early. Me personally, this offense looked the worst without Chark, and if Chark's not nearly 100% and is kind of just going out there to be like a decoy, then no, I don't like it at all. Me personally, no. But go ahead, Kyle. Who's your favorite play of the week?
It is 54.
What is that? Receiving yards?
Yeah.
So you're going over?
Yeah.
Why? Just because they have nobody else?
Right. Until Ertz shows something, because he still hasn't this year.
Cam Newton or Ryan Fitzpatrick this week?
I have Cam Newton on my fantasy team, and I am really conflicted on him or Matt Stafford this week. And I actually was waiting. I wanted to ask Giggs about this one. Now, Ryan and I don't really care to hear his opinion because I'm playing him this week. So he's going to steer me in the wrong direction. So, Giggs, do you like Stafford this week?
Tony said he'll be here in 15.
But in my opinion, before you say that, I want to answer Tyler's question about Cam or Fitzmagic, yeah.
Spit it out.
Well, here's the thing, though, is if you really hear him talking lately, too, he's very confident, and that plays a lot in the way quarterbacks play, especially somebody who has a lot of experience like he does. So, them playing the Jets, I don't think that's that bad of a play, especially after what they did to San Francisco, who's clearly, whether they have more injuries or not, they're still probably a
How many team. Hold on real quick, because somebody just asked us. How many touchdowns for Claypool this week? 6? I think 6.
I said a max. You could see a 2-touchdown game by him this week again. Not to say this is week
I think
to week,
1.
But I said, yeah, I minimum of 1. I could see maybe 2, but I don't think he's just going to disappear this week. Maybe other weeks, but the Browns secondary is not very good. But Giggs, I want to hear your opinion on Matt Stafford this week.
I think Stafford's good for 300 passing yards and at least 2 touchdowns. If you look at the game, when he played New Orleans, since he's gotten Kenny Golladay back, the offense looks better. He hasn't looked great. He hasn't looked as good as he was last year before he got hurt. But the offense looks good. The defense does not. If Stafford coming out of the bye plays well, which the Lions are 7-2 coming out of the bye since 2012, I think he's going to come out and get a ton of yards against a very bad defense. And I expect Marvin Jones, Hawkinson, Golladay, 2 of the 3 to fall in the end zone or catch balls for a touchdown today. I'm going to be very bullish on Stafford and say he's going to finish as QB1 this week.
Ooh, I think he will too. So you like him? You like him as a DFS play?
Love him in DFS. Him and Kirk Cousins would probably be my 2 favorite quarterbacks in DFS this week because of their prices and because of stacking. So, Golladay with Stafford.
We didn't we answer the Cam Newton versus Deshaun Watson question? While we're on that, then let's throw Stafford into that mix.
Hold on.
I want to say that Watson has a higher ceiling. Watson has a higher ceiling than Cam Newton.
We did talk about it. We did.
They can lose, and he has 4 touchdowns, right?
Mhm.
But if Cam Newton has 3 touchdowns, I'm guessing they're blowing Denver out of the
Yeah.
water, right?
So I agree.
I mean, you probably drafted Watson much higher than Cam. So if Cam was like someone you got late or picked up and you have Watson, I would just play Watson for the fact that you drafted him there, so play him. But yeah, I think you can't go wrong with either. If I had to pick one, I'm going Watson.
Tyler, what were you gonna say?
No, I agree. I think if right now I don't know what the exact line is for that Denver game, but I think the Patriots blow them out. So I think that definitely limits like Cam's upside here. So for me, I think Houston and Tennessee, I think right now is one of the highest scoring games on the slate projected to be. So me personally, I'll take Watson because I think that game's just going to be back and forth. So I think there's going to be plenty of opportunities where Cam is just going to be limited due to them blowing him out.
Fair enough. And then what was that, Ryan? Go ahead.
52 on the over/under in that game.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
That's not too bad then. That's not as high. What is the highest one right now, the slate?
I see 50.
I think just the 1 and 4 o'clocks.
Packer. Yeah.
The highest over-unders?
Yeah. The Packers one?
My guess would be Atlanta, Minnesota, and Detroit, Jacksonville, but I'm not looking at it.
It's 54.5 at the Packers box. Giggs is coming to us live from a house party in Pittsburgh. Or he's at a bar in Southside. I'm not sure which one it is.
No, he's in real life Houston this year.
No,
wait, what's it called? Big
I'm
Brother.
running the Aspire Sports live show at B-Dubs.
At B-Dubs?
Yes, he's at B-Dubs. If you're in the Pittsburgh area, B-Dubs, we're giving a free giveaway.
2 wings.
Giggs
A
is
couple
going
wings.
3 reach arounds.
We'll give you 2 wings and you get a couple pieces of celery. But
Ooh,
it is a
with the ranch?
$10 entry charge. So, I mean, it's just the way 2020 is going.
Hold on. And if you go to Thrive Fantasy, they specialize in player prop bets. If you go to Thrive Fantasy, use promo code ASPIRE,
Right below
they will
you.
match your deposit. Well, they'll match your deposit up to $50. So if you deposit $50, they'll give you $50.
It's right below you.
And if you look at some of the lines, we'll definitely help you with some of it. Oh, it's right below me. So yeah, go ahead, sign up for free today. With the deposit, and then you'll get a bonus deposit match. Is that what they say? Deposit match? Is that the
They'll
term?
match your deposit. It's 20. What I read, wasn't it $20 if you it'll match, or it gives you $50 bonus, right? If you sign up using.
I thought they just meant. Is it so? If it's $20, they even give you a $50? I thought they just match it regardless.
I don't remember. But hey, listen, join anyways. This is an up and coming great fantasy company. The way FanDuel's going, hey,
it's gonna be huge.
It's gonna be a lot of people are talking about it. Everybody's saying it. It's gonna be huge. I mean, honestly.
Hey, over under Kansas City Buffalo's the highest, 57.
At 57 right now?
Yeah.
Will the Browns be able to run the ball on Pittsburgh so Hunt will get a lot of yards? I honestly see more of Hunt being a threat, and what's their
And the receiving?
Yeah, and the receiving. And what's their backup? What's his name? He looks like
Ernest Johnson.
Yeah, he reminds me of. He looks like Alvin Kamara. I'm not saying he's good at him or anything. They just look so
probably
similar
better,
on the field. Yeah, he's definitely way better. No, but I do think those two would be more of a threat in the receiving game than they would be rushing, unless there's injuries. But Pittsburgh's been very stout against the run, with the exception of that Miles Sanders run, which there's about 3 non-called holding penalties on that play. But hey, I will say that was just a terrible officiating game on both sides of the ball. So
and let me just say this real quick about that. For me, Hunt absolutely play him because he had, I believe it was 22 touches, but like 24 opportunities last week. You just don't sit somebody with that many opportunities. Yes, it's Pittsburgh, in my opinion, second best run defense in the NFL, but you don't sit somebody. They could get down there, goal line carries. He's seen all of the work. So
I can
like
realistically seeing like a 35 maybe rushing yard game, but like 60 plus receiving yards by him. I could seriously see that.
Pittsburgh can't cover backs out of the backfield
No.
and slot
And
receivers.
Devin Bush struggles against running backs out of the backfield. He'll catch up to them better than most linebackers, but in terms of pure coverage, he is not there yet. I think he could be.
Any other ones?
And Vince Williams is a
Let's
terrible coverage.
This is a question on Twitter here. You have to pick 3. Ooh, this is tough. This is like some riches here. Kareem Hunt, James Robinson, Mike Davis, Ronald Jones. So one of them you have to sit. Which one are you sitting?
Just list them off one more time so everybody hears it.
Kareem Hunt, James Robinson, Mike Davis, Ronald Jones. Who are you sitting?
Probably Ronald Jones.
Yeah, I'd sit Ronald Jones. I wouldn't feel good about it because I do think he's going to have a good game here. But that's
I wanted to say Robinson, but Detroit is. I just don't see them being a team that's like, oh, we'll be. I don't know. This could be another really big week for him because I mean, lately he hasn't had one of those really big games, so this could be one of them.
Agreed. Any other lines that you guys like as you're looking through them right now?
I was looking at. There was a game I was peeking at. I know it's kind of early, but I guess we're doing 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock games, so we should talk about it. We haven't is probably next to the Pittsburgh game, the biggest game of the day, which is Green Bay versus Tampa. In terms of headlines, they've been replaying the Patriots-Packers game in 2014 on NFL Network all week, so obviously they're excited. So let's talk about some of the player prop bets for that one. Obviously,
for which one? The Packers?
Yeah, Packers. Yeah.
I want to say this real quick as you're going in the Packers game. Right now, me personally, I think he's a sneaky play. Aaron Jones. You got Vita Vea out right now he broke his leg, so he's the best interior run defender for the Bucs, and they had the best run defense. But I think that's going to be a massive loss for them. Packers they have a good offensive line as well, so. Right now, 8,500. I think it's a good pivot play off of Derrick Henry, who projects to be the highest played running back of the slate right now. So I think it's a good pivot play because he'll also be involved in the passing game. Maybe doesn't have that many rushing yards, but with Vita Vea out, I think he has a good opportunity here to have a good game.
What do you think about Tanya? Is they hot? 42.5 receivers. No,
that was also something I've been seeing talked about.
What was the line? 42.5.
42.5 receiving yards.
Maybe. I don't like him in DFS, but I guess that's not too bad. But
I think he's more of a question of touchdowns. But go ahead, Ryan. Whatever you.
I like Tanya. I know that obviously some of the stuff will fall back with Devontae Adams going back, but I think, like we keep talking about QB's trust with their pass catchers. And I think Tanyan over the last few weeks kind of gained the trust of Rodgers.
He is.
So I think he's a good fantasy tight end for rest of the season.
Interesting fact: he is tied. He's tied for the most touchdowns since week 2 with Mike Evans, receiving touchdowns. So that is something to think about. He is obviously Aaron Rodgers' favorite. I don't know whether in the red zone or not, but he's a touchdown target. And when it comes to fantasy, if he's scoring touchdowns, I don't give a shit how many yards he has. But if we're going to be betting, I would be betting personally more on the touchdown side than the receiving because I really wouldn't know what to expect with Adams.
Yeah.
I guess we might as well talk about anytime touchdown scores. I mean, it's a nice filler, and it's always something fun to talk about. In this game, there could be a lot of touchdown scores, or there could be very few. So let's talk about. Let's look at so Tanyan. I guess we'll start off with him since we were just talking about him. Plus 185. Any touchdown score? Would you be willing to throw like $30 down on that, Ryan, if you're confident in him this week?
He's 30. I don't know. I'm not a $30 bet on a touchdown type of guy.
Some people are.
Like a 5 or 10. But I would probably throw 5 or 10 on that, or include him in the same game parlay if you're using FanDuel for him to score a touchdown. like doing that.
Yeah.
The people that are ballsy are the ones that throw 300 on a bet like that. Those are the people that you must be doing some deep research if you're that confident, or you're just a gambler. But
Or
yeah,
you're
no.
just a degenerate.
Some guy dropped 800,000 on Georgia covering 7.5 last night.
What?
So
There was a bet they said in Vegas. I saw the tweet. It was for the Chargers and Saints game. Somebody bet 1 million. I think it was like $1 million flat, and it was the money line. So the money line wasn't that good, and they were only going to win like 1,400,000 or something. It was the biggest bet that they were looking at it for Vegas. So it was pretty crazy.
Jesus. Let's
Must
look
be
at
nice.
some of these.
Right?
Leonard Fournette plus 300. That is really weird. I don't know.
Well, they
why.
said he's going to be limited, so I don't like that.
And I haven't seen any
But it's
production
Ronald
from him that
Jones.
would say minus 115. So I don't know. I could see him getting some cheap.
What's Cameron Brate?
Cameron Brate plus 390. That is kind of interesting because he
I'd
is
go Cameron
definitely
Brate.
starting to get that target share with what's his face going down. But
Howard?
yeah,
OJ?
OJ Howard.
OJ the Juice Man?
Uh-huh. Must be nice. That's what Juicy J used to say. Must be nice. He'd always talk. He would be like Juicy J from. Isn't that what his name is? Yeah.
Rapper Juicy J.
From
is that your boyfriend?
3-6 Mafia. He's from 3-6 Mafia. He's a famous rapper still. And he would always put on his story. He'd be like drinking something expensive or doing something expensive, and he'd go, "Must be nice," because that's what people always used to say to him. Oh, it must be nice to blah blah blah. It's like, well, you're rich and you earned it. Why the fuck not? Anyways, that's gonna be us here soon. We're gonna be popping bottles here on the Inspire Sports Show. Keep it tuned. So we got Moneyline, Steelers, Browns, and why? That's a good question, Derek. Thank you for tuning in, being cute, being thick. We also got, let's hear your top player prop bets for each for the week. So, yeah, that's actually a really good question. Let's cover the money line, Steelers, Browns, and in the back of your head, get ready your top player prop bets for the week. So, let's go over the Steelers and Browns game. Let's talk about this boy.
Me personally, I think the Steelers win. I mean, I'm a
Moneyline.
homer, but I just think that they're going to do enough to get to Baker where he's not going to have that much time. And I just think the Steelers are, if anything, I feel like they're pissed off from last year. I know it's last year, Myles Garrett, but I do think that that's kind of in the back of their head. And Ben not playing, I think big old daddy Ben is going to go out and crush the Browns.
What Kareem Hunt said was stupid. I just think, not that it was like ridiculous or it shouldn't even be headline worthy. It's just like, why are you even saying anything? Who gives
What did he say?
He was just saying this one's for Myles Garrett and all this shit, and it's just like, whatever, dude. It doesn't even concern you. Why are you talking? But I also think the biggest thing that not a lot of people are talking about is how statistically bad Baker Mayfield's actually been in the last 3 weeks. He's under 60% completion percentage. He's like, I think, averaging like, I think it was like, I don't remember how many yards it was, but I mean, he's in some of the either middle of the pack or end of the pack in terms of statistics so far, especially the last few weeks. So I think I'm not saying
what's up, Corey?
That's an automatic favorite for me that Baker's going to be bad today, and that no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's up to Baker. If
Okay,
Baker
let's
can
go.
Play well, then
Somebody ask
that
a
could be the
question. Ryan, favorite player prop bet
for this game?
For any game. Favorite one of the week.
Well, now I've just been looking. I already told you the Mark Andrews one. I really like the Eagles can't cover tight ends. So I'm thinking the over in yards, and I probably see Mark Andrews scoring a touchdown as well.
Do you watch anybody besides the Eagles?
No,
my favorite.
Eagles can't cover a tight end, so it's a nice, easy thing to say.
My favorite. What is Tyler Boyd's right now? Well, my favorite one. I mean, I did really like the Phillip Lindsay 48.5, but now it's gone up to what was it? 53.5. Was that what it was at? The rushing yards.
Yeah,
so that is a little bit. I know it's only a couple extra yards, but my favorite one, I would say is, what is it now?
56.5.
56.5. My gosh, it's going up. Oh boy, I gotta look at. I don't know what my favorite one would be now. Giggs, what's your favorite one? Player prop wise.
You guys hate the Marvin Jones one, but
It's not that I hate him. He's
I kind
burned
of
me.
like Allen Robinson over 6.5 with plus 124. He leads the league in
like that.
targets. Like I think that's pretty solid.
Yes.
I like that. I like Mark Andrews over 53.5. I think that's a good one with plus odds as well.
Yes. Let me just pull this up. Kyle, go ahead and do yours, but I want to pull this up because I want to read this off because it is. I talked about it in one of my latest videos. It is nuts the production that Allen Robinson's had. Actually, here I got it right here. I'll go ahead and just talk about it. Unless Kyle, you got your favorite one real quick.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so Allen Robinson. This is since Nick Foles has taken over, right? The past 3 weeks. So Allen Robinson. Oh man, where'd it go? I don't have it now. But he has 39 targets. Okay, and this is the past 3 weeks. 39 targets. I can't find it. Son of a. Oh, here it is. Okay, so Allen Robinson, last 3 weeks, 39 targets, 27 receptions, 314 yards receiving, and 2 touchdowns. Like that for the past 3 weeks. Also, he's only 7,000 on FanDuel right now. 7,000 for that production the past 3 weeks. Last week had 16 targets alone. 16 targets. Like, I think he's just a slam dunk play this week. He's in all my DFS lineups. And yes, 6.5 catches. That's a lot. But plus 20, what is it, 124 juice behind that? Yes, I'll take that.
Yeah.
With that.
And talking about wide receivers for FanDuel, I would say like lucky number 7. The guys in the 7,000s of money. I like Kenny Golladay. I think he's 72. I like Thielen at 74. And I like Allen Robinson at 7,000. Was it 7,000 or 7,100? One or the other. But I like all 3 of those guys.
Last I looked, I could be wrong.
It's probably 7,000. It was probably last week. It was 71. They're not moving his price. Even
I don't know.
Every week he's solid.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Yeah, he should be much higher than that, especially with like those numbers. His target share right now is just crazy. He should be higher than what he is.
Probably one of my favorite just overall players. If you're looking
he is 7,000.
One of the games I really am just interested and intrigued by is Atlanta and Minnesota, and I think that's because of Todd Gurley. I think Todd Gurley's actually one of those guys in terms of fantasies. He's actually been under the radar a little bit, so I think this is actually interesting. Atlanta's going to have to really run the ball. I mean, they throw the ball a lot, and if they want to start winning, they actually have a back that they can, like Devonta Freeman used to be back in the day. So. Which isn't that long ago, but Todd Gurley.
Wait, what are you saying?
Todd Gurley 2+ touchdowns, plus 500, plus 550. I actually do like that because he's one of those guys in the red zone. He's a brute. He can be a third down back. So I actually don't dislike that, and I do think the Minnesota has given up the 5th most fantasy points this season, so I could easily see that.
Yep, I mean I could see it. I mean. I don't like to bet on touchdowns as much as you guys do. I don't like to do that. I like just looking at the lines, me personally. But yeah, I mean, I could see it. The Vikings have been pretty bad against the run this year, so I could see that. Derek asked a question here. He said, so you're saying Tyler Boyd over Slayton? Me personally, yes. I think people think Indianapolis has a great defense, which they have been very good. But in the slot, actually, Kenny Moore has been exposed in the slot. So if you go back and look at his games, he's actually has given up a decent amount of yards. This is going to be probably the best slot wide receiver he's going to see all year, maybe, in one of them. Tyler Boyd is a great slot wide receiver. So, yes, I think that he goes over in this game. It depends if he's going to have enough, if Joe Burrow is going to have enough time, but I do think I would still play him because the same can be said for Slayton as well. Washington can get to the quarterback, and their offensive line's terrible. So for me, Slayton.
Before anybody says anything else, just a quick plug. Real quick, if you haven't heard, we did get a new sponsor right below Tyler.
Don't say sponsor.
Oh,
affiliate.
Sorry. I didn't know. This is news to me. Well, shoot. But anyways, a new affiliate right below Tyler, Thrive Fantasy. Use code ASPIRE. Also, if you're watching and you haven't yet, please like and please subscribe. follow up on our content. We're going to be doing another live stream today at 7 before the Sunday Night Football game, and one tomorrow before the Monday Night Football game. So is there 2 tomorrow, or is there still 1?
There's 2.
Yeah,
No, I'm
so
pretty sure there's 2.
we'll probably do a pregame. Maybe we'll do 1 for each, or maybe we'll just do 1. So just stay tuned. You can just look at our preview. But anyways, anybody have anything specific, or I can find something we can talk about?
No. Tomorrow's game's at 5 or 4? The first game's at 5 o'clock?
Probably 5, yeah.
Oh,
The
no,
other one
actually,
was supposed to be 5:20 the other day before they moved to Tuesday. Or the other Monday. I don't think we talked about Cincy versus Indy, did we? We really didn't. We talked about T.Y. That was about it. We talked about Tyler Boyd.
What about this? How do you guys feel about Jonathan Taylor as a DFS play this week? Ryan, you go ahead, start. Unless you don't want to talk about DFS, I'll go to Giggs. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know anything really.
All right, Giggs, what do you, as a DFS play, you like Taylor this week?
Yeah, I'll go through all my DFS guys if that's okay.
Go for it.
All right. So at quarterback, I'm looking at Matthew Stafford, looking at Kirk Cousins. Those are probably my 2 favorite. So if you're going to stack them, you're going to stack them with, like, Stafford. I'm going to go maybe Hawkinson, Galladay, Marvin Jones, Hawkinson, or maybe just Galladay as a standalone. I think he's the best option. With Kirk Cousins, I'm going to go Justin Jefferson, Thielen, obviously. Maybe some Irv Smith as a sleeper tight end play. Looking at the running back position, I think Alexander Madison, I know he's going to be super chalky. I think he's in a really good situation. So I like Madison. I like David Montgomery at 5,900. I like Jonathan Taylor. No Jordan Wilkinson. I think this is going to be a game where they have to lean on Taylor a little bit more, maybe give him more touches than they normally would, because he had a lot of wear and tear in college. I think that was like the big thing coming in, is they didn't want to give him a shit ton of touches. Marlon Mack going down kind of, ruined that plan. So that's why Wilkins been taking those touches. I don't expect Wilkins in this game, so I like John. He's going to finally have his breakout game. 100 yards, he's going to find the end zone. Other running backs, Taylor. I like the guy from, James Robinson. I think he's at 6,600 for Jacksonville. I think he's going to have a good game. He's going against the worst rush defense in the league. So I think that's a good play. Looking at wide receiver, like I said, Galladay. You got Jefferson at 5,900. I like Marvin Jones at 58. I like Thielen at 74. If you're going to play a Carolina wide receiver, I like Robbie Anderson over DJ Moore. If you're going to play a wide receiver from Atlanta, I'm leaning towards Julio. I just bashed him last week, but I kind of like Julio because he's cheaper than Ridley, and I expect him to play from behind. I expect him to pass the ball. Let's see Julio at a cheaper price get involved. I say let's go. Fire it up. Tight end, and I'm going to put a bow on it. Tight end is deep this week. I like Jonnu Smith. I like Mark Andrews. I think he has the best matchup if you're going to pay out Mark Andrews. Irv Smith is a sleeper. Trey Burton as a sleeper. If you're looking at defense, I know it's crazy, but I like at 3,900, I kind of like the Giants against Washington. Their quarterback situation is so terrible that I expect at least 1 interception in this game. Maybe it goes to the house. Who knows? So Washington defense. Yeah, that's right. See, I got the people loving my Washington pick. And my Giants pick.
So we got a question in the chat. So it was prefaced with, is Cam Newton going to have a good first week back from his Rona recovery? We did talk about that a little bit, but the follow-up was Cam Newton or Josh Allen this week?
Scam.
I'll go Josh Allen because that game is projected to be a higher scoring game, so more opportunities Josh Allen for me.
Yeah,
but I don't
I think
go wrong with either.
Yeah, I think you guys made a really good point about Cam though, and I don't even think it just speaks to Cam. It just speaks to the Patriots. If they're up, they have no reason to run up the score against a team like Denver. So they'll probably just play conservative, run the ball a lot. So yeah, maybe he gets
Damian Harris. I like him this week.
But yeah, I do like Josh Allen more. He has that ceiling to just have a huge game.
What about this one? Start 3, Giggs. Which one? Well, which one are you sitting? Julio Jones, Stephon Diggs, OBJ, Justin Jefferson, Robbie Anderson. Oh, that's a lot. Which 2
I have
are
to
you
sit
sitting?
2 out of those 5.
Yeah. I'm gonna go
OBJ, Robbie Anderson. Who else was there? Sorry.
Justin
Justin
Jefferson
Jefferson.
and Diggs and Julio.
I'm playing Julio because where I drafted him. I'm playing Diggs because he's looked amazing. I'm going to go with Justin Jefferson over OBJ and.
Ooh, I don't think that's
what's his
bad.
nuts?
Robbie Anderson. I'd go Robbie Anderson, but I think it's close.
Robbie Anderson's floor has been amazing this year. It's been amazing. He's been great. He's better than DJ Moore so far, fantasy-wise this year. But I don't know. I think it's a tougher matchup than what they've seen. I do think Robbie Anderson has a better game than DJ Moore, but man, that's tough. I would probably go Jefferson just because it's a juicy matchup.
I would try. I mean, me personally, that's just such a good receiving core. You can't really go wrong. So I don't think it's bad either way. Ryan, what about you? Michael Gallup or Brandon Cooks? Start one. Which one?
I'm gonna go Gallup. We talked about it a little bit with the fallout from the Dak injury. I think the one that benefits the most is Gallup, and I think if leading up to this week, I think your best. This was going to be the last chance you had at kind of buying low on Gallup because I think he kind of has like a little bit of a breakout game with Dalton at quarterback this week. And if it doesn't happen this week, then I at least see his production and volume and everything's going to go up, I'd say, at least starting this week. So he might not have just a killer game, but I like him more than Cooks this week. But Cooks is also interesting too because he kind of blew up last week with the Bill O'Brien change too. So I think it'll probably be a good game from both of them. But I might lean a little bit more towards Gallup.
I'd go Cooks, but hey, that's just me. I'm going to disagree with everybody.
I mean, they're both
second opinion.
They're both going against really bad defenses, so it's really a toss-up because I do think both the games are just going to be high scoring. So they could get a nice target share, they could not. But if I were to lean towards one of them, I would probably say I do like the trajectory of Cooks, to be honest. He has been getting a lot of targets lately, and it's a matter of if Fuller's healthy.
Would you do this trade? Marquise Brown and Kenyon Drake, they'd be receiving, or Justin Jefferson and Frank Gore. Which side would you want? It's pretty easy in my opinion.
What?
Yeah, I don't like Frank Gore.
I mean, if you're gonna
Kenyon Drake either, but.
I don't like Kenyon Drake, but I'd much rather have him over Frank Gore.
Yo, make that trade immediately.
That's what I do on Twitter. There's a like a GIF of a button and a guy's just slapping it like this, pressing it super hard. That's what I say to everybody's trade. Like, hurry up, go and do it. Ready, or accept. That's what I would do for that trade. Like, hurry up, go run to your computer, fucking hit accept. Freaking.
But what happens when Chase Edmonds in 2 weeks is the starter?
I don't think it's number one. See, here's the misconception that everybody thinks. Oh, Chase Edmonds is going to take over the backfield. No, he's not. He's a passing down back. Yes, Kenyon Drake's. No, he had 18 carries last week. He's not going to.
Hey, people thought that Mark Ingram was going to keep and stay rostered over Alvin Kamara, and then they're like, "See you, Mark. You're too old, buddy."
Yeah, but that's getting rid of somebody. That's completely different.
Yeah, I know, but
mid-season, getting him out of the backfield.
I mean, maybe. We'll see. Time will tell. But Chase Edmonds, when he does get the ball in the backfield, he gets a lot of yards. Versus Kenyon Drake, who goes nowhere.
Kenyon Drake's the man.
Yeah,
Speaking of,
he's all right.
I got a guy with a question. It's he's got to sit 2, start 1. The players are Kenyon Drake, David Johnson, Brandon Cooks. You got to sit 2, start 1.
Where were they again? I mean, I'm starting David Johnson for sure.
Brandon Cooks, David Johnson, Kenyon Drake. I think it's got to be between David Johnson, Kenyon Drake.
I like David Johnson.
I like David Johnson a lot. He's one of my favorite bets. I don't know if this probably went up, but 80.5 total yards. I like the over for that. But I would probably go. That's close because who do they? Oh, Dallas. Yeah, I'll go Kenyon Drake. So Kenyon Drake and David Johnson.
Yeah, I don't like David Johnson against Tennessee this week.
I was going to go Kenyon Drake, too, against Dallas. I think it's a good matchup.
There was a question in our chat we missed. Might as well answer that. He did say he's a little nervous about Josh Allen after last week. I don't know. Titans are a really good team, so I really wouldn't be that nervous. They just got caught off guard, I think. And then he asked Brandon Cooks or DJ Moore.
Brandon Cooks for me.
Brandon Cooks.
DJ Moore's just not seeing the target share, and they play against a pretty tough Chicago. I want to say Detroit. Chicago team, so I would go Brandon Cooks. Because, like we said, right now Tennessee has one of the worst pressure rates in the NFL. Well, 5 sacks on the year. I think Deshaun has time to throw in this game, so I like Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, start Johnson and Cook, says Dan Hoover. I don't know who that is. But no, I actually thinking about it too. David Johnson will probably have a really nice share of receptions too. Probably get a lot of receiving yards today. But any other questions you guys found on Twitter so far? It is 30 minutes until game time. We could probably go for another 10, 15 minutes if you guys want.
I'll ask a question here. Here's a question on Twitter right now. Do you start Gronk or Hurst this week at tight end in a PPR league?
Oh.
Who would you go, Ryan?
Well, I have Hurst in one of my leagues, and it's just one of those things where you just keep hoping and hoping,
right?
and hoping. But I don't.
So do you hope any longer, or do you go? See, this is. I said I'm in the same boat because I have Hurst in every single league. This week I was like, I can't hope any longer. Like he's had his chance. No Julio. I dropped him, so I'd go Gronk, and this is probably going to be the week that I pay for it because it always seems to happen. It's going to be Hurst going off this week.
Yeah, Hoover, Kenyon Drake is trash. Tell him. But no, I do think it's a matter of time for Gronk. I don't think that this is like, oh, Gronk is washed up. I don't see that. He's still as athletic as he.
I think he's washed up. You see him stumbling and bumbling
yeah, but
out
it's
there.
Like what Pat McAfee said. He's been out of the league for years. It's going to take him a while, and plus there's been no off season. It's not like he could really even do much in the off season. So it's been a weird year for a lot of people, and I don't know. I guess maybe you're right, but time will tell.
I want to say this.
I don't think he's somebody I'm dropping yet.
Last week, Gronk had 33 passing down snaps to Cameron Brate's 20, so that's a pretty big gap. On those passing down snaps, Gronk had 6 targets, Cameron Brate had 6 targets. Gronk had 3 catches, Cameron Brate had 4 catches. So I think this is kind of going to be a week where Cameron Brate's close that gap a little bit more, and it's going to be more involved. So hurry up and go get Cameron Brate because I don't think you're going to be able to have an opportunity.
It could be the other way around.
No. Cameron Brate looks much better than Gronk, in my opinion.
We will cover this topic tomorrow.
Oh, we will. And we'll see who's right. And it's going to be me, son of a bitch. No.
Any questions from anybody else? We still got 4 people in here, 4 cute, very cute people. We do appreciate all the questions.
What? At 12:30, I have to head off. So I'm.
Oh, it's fine. Just do whatever you want, Ryan.
We plan on 12:30. We tell the people 12:30.
Yes.
No, we say 12:45.
We say what the people want is what the people get. Okay, Ryan?
No, but if you gotta go, you can go.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
I have to drive to watch the Birds, so.
Oh, yeah. Like going to watch a football game with your family is important. Oh.
Gigs, Chris Godwin and Justin Jefferson.
See you, Ryan.
Thanks. Godwin coming off a hamstring
injury.
Justin Jefferson, juiciest matchup. I'm all Justin Jefferson, baby.
Oh, baby. All right. I'd go Godwin just because he's a stud, but that is a tough one. I think, you can't really go wrong with
We did talk about this
Here's my thing. But if you drafted Godwin, it's so much easier for me to give advice than someone who drafted the guy where they got him. So,
right.
You drafted Godwin where you got him at, second, third round. Probably go. Anything hamstring related, first week back, I'm always cautious. Julio, I'm a little bullish on, even though he's coming off hamstring. But I'm just very big on Justin Jefferson. I think this is a game where he can be 10 fantasy points as the floor. So,
a question in the chat from Dan H. Jonnu Smith or Robert Toenails? We did talk about this a little bit, but yeah, we don't really want to help this Dan guy. So if anybody else, literally anybody else, has a question,
I go
please
John
ask.
Hoover.
Johnu Hoover. Well, must be a new player, so pick him up on your waiver wire.
I go John Hoover. Yeah.
Pick up Trey Burton.
Pick up Trey Burton. That's what he says. There's your answer. So, we'll see if there's any more questions, and let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just do some filler talk until you guys find something.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
let's talk about the Steelers versus the Browns, okay? The Steelers are going to score at least 58 points today. So make sure you get Ben Roethlisberger, 6-time touchdown scorer. And then
What do you think? This is one of mine. Actually, I want to look that up right now. Keep going because actually I have it pulled up here. So, what do you think with this? For me, it's obvious. 64.5 rushing yards. This is one of my favorite bets of the week as well for James Conner. I'm pounding the under. No. The under. Cleveland right now is the 5th best run defense in the NFL. Pittsburgh's not going to have David DeCastro. They already have his name like was Nicky or something. What's the other
Logan
guard's
wants
name?
Nicky.
That's who it is. Diesel out there. He's not out there this week. Well, he's been hurt though. I think he's had a pec injury or something. But so they're already down offensive linemen. Pittsburgh really hasn't been able to run the ball the past 2 years now. So under on that. Under. And he could get hurt at any moment because he's made of glass. Sorry, James Conner, if you're watching right before the game, maybe you're live streaming this.
When you click on Steelers Browns, it shows up top. Cincinnati versus Pittsburgh. Kickoff 28 days, 1 hour, 24 seconds. They fucked up. They done fucked up.
You should report him.
I reported FanDuel. All right, so now everybody, we're moving to Thrive Fantasy. No more talking about FanDuel.
Oh, hold on,
Thrive is the
wait.
best.
Joe Mixon or DJ Chark is a flex. Joe Mixon. Last week saw 30 touches. 30 touches. You can't go wrong.
I think he's a fluke.
If you trust DJ Chark's health, I say DJ Chark.
Me too. I was going to say Chark. I like Chark more this week.
Oh. You guys are going to be
There's
wrong.
a dummy head.
Hey, well, I guess, yeah, it says Hoover, so go DJ Chark.
I do think Joe Mixon, though, I think he is still getting a lot of love off that 1 week. So
what?
His 40
last week he saw 30 touches. He saw 30 touches last week. 8 targets. No, he's a
If you're
stud.
concerned about volume, then go Mixon because he's for sure getting the volume. Minshew spreads it around. But as far as matchup goes, you have to.
Yes, Detroit. What's their cornerback's name? What's their rookie's name that they just
Darius
drafted?
Slay.
No, I forget what his name is.
I know you're sad.
I can't remember what his name is. He's pretty terrible this year in coverage, though.
Oh, Artie Burns.
No, I'm gonna look it up right now. Lions first round draft pick. First round pick. All right, so it is. Oh, Jeff Okudah. Okudah. He's been very bad. I knew it was something different. Okudah. He's been very bad in coverage this year, so yes. Kyle, go ahead. Filler talk.
So Phil. So
Bill
I was
Mickelson.
talking to Phil. Oh, Brian, just in time. Okuda.
Thanks, Brian.
Oh, what the fuck? What happened to him?
I don't know. He was at Buffalo Wild Wings. People are probably swarming him over there.
Our faces aren't on the screen anymore because it's all screwed up. So we will have to just talk and keep talking and talk a little more because it's all screwed up. I have it so our faces are on there, but the thing, you know.
Oh, dang it. All right. Well, then we'll just end it.
Yeah. All right. So make sure you go in. Put your player props in for all Steelers players. They're going to win. And that's where we'll end with. Go Steelers.
Thanks, guys, for watching. Thanks, everyone that was here. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
And on a real note, please subscribe if you're still watching. It really helps us. It helps the algorithm. Also, if you're a new time viewer, I want to make sure that you catch our other content. We're going to be doing another live stream tonight at 7 o'clock. Please tune in. Get your player prop bets in, win some more money with us. And also, we're doing 2 more tomorrow. And then don't forget, last thing, what is Thrive?
Thrive is
Partner.
affiliate.
Affiliate. Right under
Affiliate.
Tyler, right below Tyler's box where his name is.
Use code Aspire.
Yep.
They will match your deposit bet up to $50. It is a player prop, so if you have any questions on player props, please feel free to reach us at Tyler Health or at Aspire Sports _. We will answer your questions, give you our favorite player prop bets on the Thrive site. So I forget what their motto is. I gotta memorize their motto. I'll look it up.
Yeah, we'll remember. But anyways, make sure you tune in tonight, and if you do, we'll see you then. If not, see you tomorrow, and see you this week.
Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
guys. Thank you. Love you.